It's in our blood, it's in our bones, orange and brown, yeah, we ride for our own like a dog pack running. We ain't alone, game day comes, get ready for the show. It's our call, it's our bark, it's our song. We stand tall, yeah, we've been here all along. Through it all, the dog pound standing strong. We all dogs, yeah, we all dogs. Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reniker, Justin Charles, Kenny Mack, and Josh All. We all dogs!
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Josh All, and I've got Kenny Mack with me this morning.
Let's go, baby.
We are rocking and rolling here on a Monday morning. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and your weeks have started off very well. What a wrap-up to the weekend for the Cleveland freaking Cavaliers. Shout out to the Cavs. Taking Game 7, not just a little bit, not just edging out the Pistons, but absolute domination up in Detroit. Holy crap, Kenny.
I can't believe it. I don't know if it's these 25 buses that we sent down there with all these fans, but I was expecting a dogfight and maybe the Cavs winning. But like 125-94, I would have not expected that blowout, especially with the defense that the Pistons can do. I will tell you one thing. When we get in the Discord, we all watch this kind of together, and I don't watch as many Cavs games as you guys do, because I just don't have the connection to it up where I am. But every time I watch the game, I go, when are these guys going to freaking rebound? When are they going to rebound? And man, it's like they actually heard me. Like, I can't believe it's probably the best rebounding game, like their domination in the paint just between Allen and Mobley that I've seen in like 2-3 years. It was unreal. If they can carry that through the playoffs, man, wow.
I said the physicality and the intensity, that if that's like 100%, 80% of that will win you most games, more times than not. That was insane. And you know, the thing with the Cavs that everybody's been talking about during the playoffs, it's been, like you said, poor rebounding. They're kind of soft at times. And the turnovers. They just commit these stupid turnovers. It's like, you guys just shoot yourselves in the foot all the time. And last night they were forcing the turnovers. They're taking it to the Pistons. They're, punching the ball out and intercepting passes and rebounding offensive boards. It was, you talk about bouncing back in a major way after getting blown out at home by 21 in Game 6, a game that you could have clinched at home.
Yep.
You got embarrassed, and you came in to their building and one-upped them. 31-point blowout? Jeez, what a freaking game.
Dude, I still can't believe sitting there watching the second quarter. I'm like, Cavs are up by 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on here?
I know, and we're up by 20, and I kept thinking, okay, when's the other shoe going to drop? When are they going to mount their comeback? When are we going to start screwing up?
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're watching postseason games and things like that, there's a turning point for teams. There's 100%. a defining moment, defining game. I hope that was it for the Cavs, because if they can bring that sort of intensity, the rest of the playoffs
sky's the limit, man.
They could do something. So
yep.
Whew. That's just a great way to start off the week with a big Game 7 win. That's 6 Game 7s in a row that the Cavs have won, dating back to 2016 when they came back against the Golden State Warriors to win the championship. And I saw another stat. It's the first Eastern Conference final appearance for the Cleveland Browns since 1992 that did not involve LeBron James.
Yeah, that was Mark Price and the boys. Wow.
Back in the day. So
yeah.
Hats off to the Cavaliers. Excellent, excellent game last night. I could not be more proud, more happy with what I saw out of that game, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, unreal. Congrats, Cavs.
Absolutely. So today, Kenny and I really just want to talk about everything around the Browns this offseason program. We're going to talk about the OTAs coming up, give you guys the dates and what the schedule looks like. Kenny's going to do his thing. We talk about this every year. Kenny likes to enlighten everybody as to what are OTAs? What are you allowed to do? What are you not allowed to do? Just so you guys understand when you see this stuff floating around the headlines, the news, what OTAs actually consist of. We'll talk about this 120-day reset that the Browns have. They're out of that now, right, Kenny?
Yeah, they're out of that right now.
That was through the draft. So
yeah,
we're going to recap what that 120-day reset looked like in the beginning, what the Browns said they were going to do, and what they did do, and how it's looking moving forward. And then we've got a voicemail to play at the end. We'll talk about some Tylen Green. Just have a little bit of fun here this morning to kick off the week for everybody. So Kenny mentioned about watching the Cavs games in the Discord with everybody. If you guys want to hang out with the best Cleveland fans in the world on the net, go to jointhedogs.com. Get into the Discord. It's a great place to be. Awesome diehard Browns fans in there, just Cleveland fans in general. It's a great place, great time. And like I keep reminding everybody, fantasy football signups will start on June 1st. So we're getting closer and closer every day to that date. Now, the drafts will be at the end of August, but if you want to get in, reserve your spot in one of our dog pack leagues for this year, get in now, get in early, hang out with everybody, get to know people, and get those rivalries brewing. That's what's awesome with the fantasy football leagues, because we get people from all different experience levels, Kenny. You know that. We got people that are like, hey, I've never played before. I just want to see what fantasy football is all about. You're welcome. Get in here. Hang out. It's a great place to learn. We got people that have been playing for decades. I mean, it's fun.
You can go like Mama Tendo and draft all Browns players for your very first one ever. And then she learned. And did she win or almost win?
I'd have to go back and look. I can't remember if she won the next year, or if she made it to the championship. But yeah, it's a great point. We did have somebody, it was her first year ever playing fantasy, and she didn't know what she was doing in the draft. Round 1, I think she took David Njoku. Round 2, she took DPJ because she was just taking Browns players.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That season didn't go very well for her.
No. But she learned. Hey, she learned, right? So that's the main thing. So guys, get in there, but participate. Get in the conversations. Don't be shy.
Yeah, it's an awesome place. So that's jointhedogs.com. Okay, before we dive into this stuff with the Browns and everything, the big thing over the weekend, at least on social media, if you were on X, is that a dangerous place to be sometimes?
Yeah, no doubt.
So shout out to Garrett Bush. Well, I don't know how some people like Garrett Bush, some people hate him, whatever. You know, he had Deion Sanders as a guest on his show, The Barbershop, over the weekend. That's a huge get. First of all, to get a Hall of Fame player, take Deion Sanders' name out of the conversation just for a second, just say, I had a Hall of Fame football player on my show. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for Garrett Bush. I remember we had Eddie George on our show one time. We got to interview Eddie George. That was, for me, that was insane because, first of all, former Ohio State Buckeye, and Eddie George, when I was a kid, he's the one, he's the player that got me so interested in the NFL to begin with when I was young. Was Eddie freaking George. And then to sit down at a table and interview him and talk to him was just insane. So it's a huge get for Garrett Bush to have primetime on his show there. But obviously they're talking about the Browns and Shedeur Sanders and all this stuff. And Deion made mention that he was going to come to Cleveland to meet with Todd Monken, which I don't know, Kenny. Talk to me, man. Because to me, I didn't feel like that was really a big deal, and I can explain why, but a lot of people have a big issue with this.
I think it's polarizing just because it's Deion Sanders, number one. Okay.
I agree.
The other thing is he's got a weird dynamic. Obviously, he was his coach and he is his dad.
Right.
So if you hear Todd Monken talk, a lot of times when he's reviewing players to possibly draft, he has talked to the coaches. He's got connections in the NCAA because of his time with Georgia. And so that seems like that's something that you would do, based on being a coach, is reach out to the coach of in the NCAA,
the college coach,
right? Yeah. And, but I don't think NFL coaches make it standard practice though, to reach out to parents. Right. So I think that's where it's almost like a conflict of interest thing almost with the Browns is what I think. I think Todd Monken needs a chance just to look at Shedeur and what he can do and not get a biased opinion from the father, which is, I think, maybe the way they may go. Right. Because it's not like Todd Monken has struggled to make a quarterback successful. He's maybe not been on some teams that were great and maybe the defense let them down or end the game situations let them down. But if you take a look last year when Shedeur played, it was inconsistent O-line, it was injuries, protection issues, maybe him adapting to NFL speed, but he just was not put in a good situation. Like, look at the situation that Justin Herbert was in, way better receivers, way better plan. You know what I mean? And he actually didn't start with the best coach out there that he has now, but he was just in a way better fit. So it kind of looks a little bit like a helicopter parent to me at this point, because I think Monken can figure it out.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, and I mean, I get it. I get if people are looking at it from that point of view, like the whole helicopter dad thing. Okay, fine, whatever. But, you said Todd Monken can figure it out, before he has to get some bias from Deion Sanders. Did the Browns and Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry not meet with Deion Sanders about Shedeur before the draft last year?
They would have had to. I saw them.
They were at Colorado's pro day. They went out to dinner with him. Like, so did Deion not have his 2 cents about Shedeur with the Browns and that coaching staff? Yes. So It's really no different to me. And the other thing for me is, Deion doesn't come to Cleveland to meet with Todd Monken if Todd Monken doesn't want to meet with Deion Sanders. So clearly, Todd Monken has said, yeah, I want his input. I want to talk to him. And everybody keeps telling me we got to trust Todd Monken. Really trust him. Todd Monken knows what he's doing. He's going to do what's best for the team. He's going to put the best players on the field, yada, yada, yada. Until he meets with Deion Sanders, then it's like, nope, don't trust him anymore.
And they would have had to meet when he did his little recruiting thing, his little recruiting stint at Georgia.
Well, absolutely, yes.
So they know what they're talking about. So it's Deion Sanders. It's polarizing, and it's something to talk about in between the rookie camp being done and then us starting OTAs. That's what it is.
Well, that's probably the baseline of it all. But, the whole thing to me, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, just I didn't see it as like a big deal. Because again, and you've said it plenty of times, Todd Monken, it's not like the first time I'm sure he's ever talked to Deion Sanders. I'm sure he's met him before. I'm sure he's had a conversation or at least exchanged, whatever with him before. And guys reach out to college coaches all the time. As a Browns fan, I don't see the issue with getting more help at the quarterback position. If Deion Sanders has any sort of insight that can help develop that position, a player at that position, and Todd Monken wants that insight and he's willing to hear what he has to say, who are we to turn our noses up at that? We've had 42 freaking quarterbacks since 1999.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm saying he is a helicopter parent. There's no doubt about it, but I'm not going to go to bed angry about this or anything. Like, I'm not giving it a second thought, but if someone's going to ask me, I'm going to say that. Maybe he just wants to meet Monken as a subtle jab to Stefanski, because clearly Stefanski wanted Dylan Gabriel, right? And then, the rest of the Browns wanted Shedeur. So maybe it's something along like that line too. I don't know.
Yeah. And again, I think a lot of this is through the media being framed as Deion wants to meet Monken. And he said he does. He said he's excited to meet him. But how do we know it wasn't Monken who reached out to Deion and said, hey, would you like to come have a conversation?
Yeah, fair point.
So I think everybody's blown it a little bit out of proportion. Like you said, it's polarizing because of who it is.
Yep.
If it was just some other college coach from, who cares university, we wouldn't even know. Like, we wouldn't even know that they had a conversation or that they reached out and he came to Cleveland. Like, we would have no idea. It wouldn't be in the news. But
exactly,
because it's Deion.
Do you think anybody is going to tell us if they reached out to Pat Shurmur, his offensive coordinator from 2 years ago, who was a Cleveland coach? I can't remember who his offensive coordinator was his last year of university, but they probably reached out to him. Like, there's a ton of guys they reached out. It's Deion, and it's polarizing, and it's getting clicks. And we both clicked on it to find out information so we could talk about it now.
That's
so
true.
They're winning. They're winning.
Getting their clicks. That's absolutely right. And was there not reports or speculation that Todd Monken had some sort of relationship with Ty Simpson's father? Pre-draft?
Man, I thought about that yesterday. Did not put it down. I'm glad you brought it up. And yeah, he praised his dad. Yeah, obviously, clearly had a relationship with the parents, which you generally don't want to do as an NFL coach, but that does happen too. So nobody got all bent out of shape over that.
Yeah. I mean, and just speaking as a college coach in general, like when you go recruit a kid to come to your school, you're going to meet the family, you're going to meet the parents.
Yep.
You know, so it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit crazy how blown out of proportion this stuff gets. But everybody pre-draft was saying, well, Deion Sanders is going to control where Shedeur goes. He's going to dictate this, dictate that. He didn't. Actually, the only time that's really happened that I can remember was the Manning family, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dictating where Eli, he got drafted by the Chargers and they forced them to trade him immediately after drafting him. So
well, I think Angel from the Bearded podcast put out there that they were going to trade him to Cleveland. Did you see that?
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they threatened to trade him to Cleveland, and he didn't want to go there either. But there's I can't remember where he said that. It was on a podcast, and it escapes me. But I just read it quickly. But yeah, that's out there as well.
Yeah. So look, NFL bloodlines, you know, it's different because I saw somebody posted on X and they said, well, is Todd Monken going to meet with Tylen Green's dad? Guys, it's not the same situation. You cannot do this like it's apples to apples. This is Deion Sanders.
No, 100%.
He is an NFL Hall of Fame player. It is it's NFL bloodlines. It's just like with the Manning family or any of these other families that have generations of, you know, men playing in the NFL. It is just different. NFL bloodlines. For some reason, it's okay to have NFL bloodlines if your name is a certain name, and it's not okay if your name's another name. But
yeah,
social media, you guys are freaking insane. Everybody who's watching this podcast, let me know, like in the comments. Big deal, not big deal with the Deion Monken thing. Again, the way I see it, if Monken wants to meet with him, who are we to judge? If we trust him, if we trust Todd Monken, like we say we do, you know, let's just see how it plays out. Again,
too crazy.
The best thing that could happen for the Browns is Shedeur becomes the guy, because you get a quarterback on a 5th round contract, and you no longer have to worry about, well, how are we going to position ourselves to get the next rookie quarterback, and then give him time to learn and grow and develop. And by the time that's all said and done, Miles won't be here, Denzel won't be here. The guys we just drafted in the last 2 years, they're going to be looking for their second contracts. We can't afford to sign them all.
No,
you know,
absolutely.
So you want a quarterback to work out now. I'm telling you guys.
Yeah, and it's not Deshaun.
It is not Deshaun Watson. Thank you, Kenny.
No, it's not.
I think most people watching this show, listening to us, agree. And if you guys think it's Deshaun, tell us why. Because I just haven't. There's nothing on film or analytically that says, especially coming off the 2 Achilles tears, that's not talked about enough. Because performance, go look it up. Performance for players coming off Achilles tears, while the recovery process, the surgery, the medicals, and all that stuff has gotten more advanced in recent years, and you can mount a quicker comeback after an Achilles tear. It used to be just a career-ending injury for most people. It's not that anymore, but you don't come back the same. Definitely not right away, not the first season back on the field. So all these people that think he's going to just all of a sudden be Houston Texans Deshaun Watson, I'm like, he wasn't even Houston Texans Deshaun Watson when he was 5 years younger and healthy.
No, and I can't really find a good example of any player coming back after 3 years of just, or what was it, 4 years of 19 games. Like the only guy I could think of is Kurt Warner, where he kind of had that stint with the Giants, and then he went back to his All-Pro form when he went back when he went to the Cardinals. You know, that's the only thing I could find. I know with the Browns, I mean, we had Vince Young in camp. I totally forgot about that.
I did too, dude. I saw that somewhere. I was like, oh yeah.
And that's something that we tried to get going, and it just didn't materialize. Just gone out of the game too much, and I just don't see it happening. I mean, crazier things have happened in the world, but just Deshaun Watson and his time here isn't good for the fans, based on optics, and that's just something again to talk about. Very polarizing.
It is, and you know, I was doing some reading up on, these Achilles tears specifically for quarterbacks. And what I was reading is it makes a difference which one it was. Was it your left or your right? Because if it's your plant leg, which for Deshaun it would be because it was his right leg. So that would be the one you drop back and plant on.
Yeah.
That's more difficult. That is more difficult than your, I forget what they called it, your throwing leg or your step forward leg, you know, which would be your left. And for pocket quarterbacks, everything I read said it's a little easier for those guys to bounce back sooner because you're not using your mobility. You're standing in the pocket. You're more accurate. Well, that's not Deshaun's game, man. He's got to get out of the pocket. He runs away from fake pressure. His mobility and his athleticism wasn't very good before the injury.
No,
it was already declining. So I just, like you said, anything can happen. Crazier things have happened in the world, but would this ever be up there?
Yeah, and I mean, again, like he's going to look good in these training camps. He definitely has his technique and his steps down and everything.
It's scripted.
But, I mean, there's no pressure. It's not the NFL game, Sunday game. It's practice. Practice, and that's what it is. And he does look good now, but give it some time. A
7-8 year veteran quarterback should look good at practice in 100%. Shorts. Absolutely. He's been through the ringer. He knows how to practice. He knows how to do these things. It's not his first go round. That's why right. I'm like, oh yeah, he looks good in practice. I'm like, no kidding. They said that in 2024 and 2023.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Games are where it matters, and that's where it just goes off the rails. But we got a whole bunch of we got months coming up here to discuss this stuff, which is going to be either a lot of fun or really frustrating, just depending on
it's going to be
what
a
platform
mixture.
You're on, who you're talking to.
Yeah, it's going to be a mixture of both, man.
But it wouldn't be a Cleveland Browns offseason without a quarterback debate. So
that's right. That's right.
This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. All right, Browns fans, we've all messed around with the sports books before, right? And let's be honest, you're always kind of playing against the house. But with Kalshi, it's different. You're not betting against some sports book. You're trading against other real-world people. There's no house trying to beat you. Kalshi just runs the marketplace. So if you think the public is wrong, like everybody's overreacting to these smoke screens in the draft or sleeping on a prospect, you can literally take the other side of the market. And it's not just sports either. You can trade on other real-world stuff, interest rates, inflation, even wild weather outcomes. It works like this. Simple yes or no markets, your risk is capped up front, and your payout is locked in. So if you trust your takes and instincts, and I know you guys do, go check out Kalshi and see what markets are live right now. So head over to Kalshi.com/dogs, KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS. Deposit just $20, and Kalshi's going to match you. They're going to put $20 free into your account. That's a great deal to get started. So again, Kalshi.com/dogs, $20 match when you deposit $20 into your account. Hey, Browns fans, we just partnered with Fanatics to bring you guys the best Browns gear available. Head over to brownsmerch.com to check out everything in our storefront. I know you guys want that new Shedeur Sanders #2 jersey. We've got those in there. Rock the Depoy and the D-Roy jerseys with Myles Garrett and Carson Schlesinger, along with the other studs from last year's draft. We've got a collection of Browns hats, T-shirts, and hoodies you can browse through too. Again, that's brownsmerch.com to check out our Browns gear powered by Fanatics. This episode is sponsored by Trollco. Browns fans, there's a phrase that has been used around the blue-collar world forever. Dirty hands, clean money. The idea that you show up, you put in the work, and you build your ideal life because of it. Sound familiar? That is Browns country. And Trollco is a clothing brand built around that very belief. Two guys who worked the oil patch looked around and could not find a single brand that represented people like them. So they started making workwear, tees, hoodies, and hats all by themselves. Gear for the person who works hard all week and still brings that same energy to the tailgate on Sundays. And I know I'm talking Cleveland in general, but Northeast Ohio is that blue-collar, work hard, earn what you have area. Whether it's you or somebody you know, a family member, your dad, your brother, uncle, whatever the case may be, you guys know what that dirty hands, clean money phrase truly means. So check out what they have to offer. Head to trollco.com/dogs. That's TROLLCO.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use code DOGS25 for 25% off your first order. Speaking of the offseason program, let's move into real quick the upcoming schedule just so everybody knows what's going on. Tomorrow, the first session of OTAs will kick off for the Browns. There are 3 OTA sessions and then a mandatory minicamp. Those are the 4 things remaining in this offseason program. And then they have their summer break. And at the end of summer break, obviously, is when training camp starts. And then you do training camp, preseason, and we're right into football. Like it's gonna fly. But OTAs, like I said, May 19th, that starts tomorrow through the 21st. Then next week, you got May 26th through the 28th. And the week after, you got June 2nd through the 5th. And that wraps up the OTA periods for the Browns. And then June 9th through the 11th, that is the mandatory minicamp. That's when Miles will be there. That's when all the players have to come and report and do their stuff. And then it'll be summer break. But Kenny, do you want to talk about OTAs? Give us a quick rundown, breakdown on what you can and can't do, what they are, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Like OTAs are organized team activities. I think you and I struggled to remember what that actually meant.
I was like, a couple weeks ago. Offensive training. Wait,
yeah. No. And you know what? You sometimes use acronym. I can't even say it, but acronyms so much that you forget what they mean, right?
Yeah,
and that's absolutely what it does mean. So ultimately, it's super important for the Browns. Like we're going to install our offense, defense, special teams. Like we have all new coordinators, so we got to introduce these basic concepts, terminology, and obviously introduce the playbook or more of it. Position drills are super important. This is where the players are really going to work on themselves. Guys like Miles, if they're not there, do you think Miles really needs a little bit more? Maybe, but I need the backups to get as many reps as possible. And then generally what you're going to do is 7-on-7s, 9-on-7s, and 11-on-11s. There is no contact, just so you guys, no pads as per NFL rules. And I'll get into a little bit more of that. But ultimately, this is very good for quarterbacks, receivers, and DBs, and they're just trying to develop some kind of rhythm. In that, obviously, our coaching staff, while they're going to get to know the guys, they also want to evaluate the depth and the versatility of a lot of players. And versatility was a big thing that we emphasized throughout this 120-day reset because we needed it the last 2 years. Yeah. Then ultimately, if you're hanging out with the boys, you're going to develop some leadership, some culture building. That's very important for the team dynamics. Captains, veterans establish the tone and they set expectations. And then there's the one side of it that we know, medical, rehab and conditioning, guys. So that's basically what you want to accomplish in the OTAs. But here's the structure. Biggest thing is it's held in May, and that's where we are right now. Josh mentioned it starts tomorrow, goes to early June, 3-4 weeks long, 10 total sessions are available. They're not mandatory. And then that's followed by the camp, usually 3 days. Key rules, like I said, no live contact, no helmets, no pads, limited time on the field. So only like about 2 hours of practice. And coaches may not conduct one-on-one full speed drills. So the way it works, phase one, we got an extra session, as you guys know, just before the NFL draft. It's about 2 weeks long. So obviously we're out of that. Daily limit is 4 hours. So 2 on the field, like I said. Really, it's only, now it's correcting itself. 90 minutes on the field. So 2 hours on the practice facility, but 90 minutes on the field. There is some limited strictly to strength and conditioning. Only strength and conditioning staff can be on the field. Now, this is phase one, guys. This is all done. There is no football drills, no schemes, no play installation or helmets. Phase two is 3 weeks after this 2 weeks has been done. This is where the rules are expanded slightly. So full coaching staff is on the field. There is individual drills, perfect play, walkthroughs, position instruction, and install concepts. You're still not allowed offenses versus defense, one-on-ones, helmets, or competitive periods. So this is really terminology, route, timing, quarterback footwork, and motion shifts. So this is why veterans should look good in these OTAs. And defensively, like Rutenberg, obviously he's got his communication structure that he needs to get through the guys, alignment responsibilities, and that's important for that part of the staff. Now we're getting into the OTAs. We are into phase 3, guys. So this is where I mentioned the 10 total practices. The helmets are on, 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-on-11. Still prohibited, though. You guys will notice. No pads, no live tackling. They'll be hitting dummies, but they won't be hitting each other. Where are we now? So that's basically with your quarterbacks, who's going to get the QB1 reps, how are the reps split up? That's good. Everybody wants to know. Offensive line, Spencer Fano, they're going to start gelling a little bit. Receivers are going to get their concepts as well. And then when these 10 sessions are done, then we're going to get right into mandatory minicamp. And that's super important. One thing I will say, we did pass our rookie minicamp. Todd Monken, he said that's the ACT period. So that's alignment, communication, and technique. And that's what all the rookies worked on the entire rookie minicamp. I thought they did a fantastic job. From looking between versatility and athletics, maybe it's just in my head because it's new and it's recency bias, but I thought everybody looked fantastic coming out of their routes, super athletic. One thing I wanted to point out, our new safety, the reason why that guy gets turnovers, I don't know if you noticed, every single time he had to touch a receiver to stop to initiate a tackle, he went and punched the ball out every single time.
That's his thing. That's his thing, man. Yeah.
And I thought that was great. So, but that's basically your A to Z on what OTAs are, guys. Basically getting the playbook down, getting your terminology down, and knowing where to be and where to align.
Yeah. I mean, that's an excellent breakdown. I appreciate that, Kenny. And, if anybody out there has any more questions about OTAs or anything that's going on here with the Browns in the next few weeks before the summer break, drop them in the comments. Let us know. But I think that was a pretty good breakdown. Now, to recap this 120-day reset. So remind me, Kenny, what was said at the very beginning of this 120-day reset? What was the goal?
Well, basically, one of the things that always stood out to me is he said he wanted guys that popped off the tape, especially in the draft. But the main thing is he wanted versatility, he wanted competition, he wanted toughness and athleticism.
Now, are you talking AB or Monken?
Monken.
Okay,
they're aligned.
Yeah, they're aligned. I get that, but yeah.
I've took their pressers and matched them and put them in AI. To go, are these guys on the same page? Because it seems to me they are.
Okay,
and
you're right.
Couldn't pick out anything, right? So that's basically what they're looking for. And then ultimately, we took a look. We all know as fans, what was the biggest misgivings? And we said it earlier about Shador and his struggles. The offensive line just wasn't there. And we didn't replace a couple guys. We replaced everyone. It was that bad.
Yeah.
And then with the receivers too, I mean, the receivers didn't really get a fair shake because if the offensive line is bad, then the rest of the teams aren't going to get their due diligence to get the ball when they need or whatever. But the receivers just weren't getting separation. We added to that and we added youth, which was fantastic. The other thing is, in my opinion, the defense was good, but we needed another linebacker. Definitely took care of that as well. We got a guy that he's not JOK, but he's someone that can play in that space.
Yes. Right? I'm so excited for Quincy Williams, man. And he's got that relationship. If you guys forget, when we signed him, he came here because of Mike Rutenberg.
Absolutely.
He's got such a great relationship with him whenever Rutenberg was coaching him in New York. That's when Quincy Williams had his Pro Bowl season. He loves him. And Quincy Williams is a guy that Rutenberg actually highlighted as one of the players he's created this awesome relationship with after coaching whenever he was first introduced in his presser. And then lo and behold, once free agency opens up, here comes Quincy Williams to Cleveland.
And then, guys, what's the other thing that we bitched about? It lost us the Jets game. It's the depth and the lack of special teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a new coordinator. We've re-signed a bunch of guys, depth pieces like Daniel Thomas, Kalea Davis. We've got Trey Avery, Sam Kamara, Blake Whiteheart. These are all guys that are depth pieces that could play a vital role into our special teams. Guys like Michael Burton, the fullback. While we want to be a very tough running team, I'm sure he'll have a role on the special teams as well as Tylen Wallace, who's a gunner. So these are all important signings for us.
Yeah, and then a lot of the later round picks that I know Justin Jefferson, the linebacker from Alabama that we drafted in the 5th round, his big contribution early on is expected to be on special teams. That's where he's played there. He's ready to come in and shine there. A lot of the UDFAs we signed, I think, could make a name for themselves and try to fight for a roster spot through special teams. So they definitely added depth, competition to the special teams specifically, which we, like you said, desperately needed to get.
Yeah, and even if you go from underneath Brailsford, you mentioned Justin Jefferson, Joe Royer, and Carson Ryan. Like, those are athletic tight ends. Those guys are guys that can make plays in special teams to start, and that's how they're going to make their mark on the team. And when you're going, obviously, Tylen Green, we'll get into him a little bit later. If you're picking in the 6th round and you have a guy that won the combine, and he probably won the last 22 combines since Calvin Johnson was there. Yeah. I mean, you gotta pick him. You gotta try something with him. But we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, we'll talk some Tylen Green here toward the end, guys. But to kind of recap the specific names here, the Browns, they signed Zion Johnson to the big deal, the free agent from the Chargers. So there's one of your guards. And again, like Kenny's been saying, versatility was a key theme with a lot of these players. You had Elkton Jenkins, the center / guard / he's played left tackle before. The dude can play anywhere on the line. You signed him from the Packers. Tevin Jenkins, obviously, we re-signed, who was here last year, played some right guard for us. And I'm trying to see anybody. Oh, and then obviously we traded for Titus Howard. Yeah. So there's your big O-line moves prior to the draft. And then obviously we drafted Spencer Fano. We drafted Parker Brailsford. And let's see who else. Oh, and Austin Barber. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting Austin Barber. I think Barber might actually have I'm excited to see what he can do in camp.
He to me seems like he's like Wyatt Teller. Just when when that guy mauls you, he doesn't move. And he knows he's not moving to the next level. He's going to body slam you after.
Yeah,
and like he's it's a pancake, and he's making you thinner. You know what I mean? Like, he hit people, and he made sure he knew his presence was felt, and that's what I liked about that guy.
Yes, Austin Barber has nasty to him. Not like I'm going to commit penalties. I'm not like, I'm just, you guys know what I mean. Like, that nasty physicality that, like you said, Wyatt Teller has. Playing the offensive line spot in the NFL is just, that's what we need, especially whenever you're taking guys like Zach Zinter in the 3rd round a couple years ago. That's been a bust. He hasn't panned out at all. Luke Whippler was a 5th or 6th round pick a couple years back. He's in the last year of his rookie deal, but now he's always hurt. DeJuan Jones showed some promise, can't stay healthy, can't maintain his weight. You get these guys that are super athletic, have a proven track record of success in college football, and multiple positions. They can play multiple positions. None of them are isolated to any one spot, except for maybe Parker Brailsford. I think he's kind of a center-only guy. Yeah. But I think that the athleticism there, they think gives him an actual shot to compete for that position. So I love the moves they've made on paper, obviously, for the offensive line.
Yeah, well, I mean, the draft, I mean, we can't say enough about it. Quickly, with Monken, I mean, he wants to take advantage of one elite trait. And he, again, like, I'll get back to what he says, like, what makes the tape pop, right? You look at Spencer Fano, athletic.
Oh, yeah.
Athletic. You look at Casey Conception, elite separation ability. You look at Denzel Boston. Remember I said he reminds me of Harold Fannin, and it's the catch radius. It's the catch radius.
Catch radius, ball skills.
Yeah, just out of this world. And then with Emmanuel McNeil Warren, it's his turnovers. It's turning the ball over. There's more to him than that, but like, that's what pops off the tape to me. I won't get into the other guys, but like, those are the 4 first rounders that we got in the first 2 rounds, which is impressive. Very. And then you got the rest of the other guys. Brailsford was the head scratcher for me until I actually like did research on him. I didn't realize he was as athletic as he was. And, coming out of college, you're thinking like, I want, my 310 pound tight end, but they basically compared him like size wise and athletic wise to Kelsey. In something I was watching, and it's just a small guy that's a technician that uses leverage to get where he needs to be and move to the next level. And if you have a center that can pull and you're doing these jet sweeps and these different run plays, that makes your like another option for you in your running game that much better.
Yeah, that was the big ththing for me. I was reading up on Brailsford whenever I did the recap and stuff too, was that he never stops with the first block.
That's right.
He hits his first block and then he's always looking who's next. Who am I going after next to continue this play? And that's what we need, man. We need dogs on that offensive line who are just like, I want to hit somebody and let's go until that whistle blows, and I'm excited to see that. As far as free agency, so we mentioned the offensive lineman we signed. We mentioned Quincy Williams. That's pretty much it as far as your big name, big ticket type guys that are going to make a big impact for this team. Just to run through, Miles Bryant was a cornerback from the Texans. D'Angelo Ross, we re-signed from last year, kind of a practice. These are depth pieces, like Kenny said, special teams guys. They might not make the roster in the end when it's all said and done. Defensive line, we brought back Sam Kamara. We brought back Julian Okwara. We signed Kalia Davis from the 49ers. Kenny already mentioned Michael Burton, the fullback. I think he'll probably compete with some Carson Ryan, our 7th round pick, for maybe that fullback, that H-back type of spot.
Jack Stoll as well.
Jack Stoll, yeah, the tight end from the Saints. We brought back Blake Whiteheart. Like you said, Tylen Wallace was the only wide receiver we added in free agency coming over from the Ravens, primarily relegated to a special teams return role. I think he's only caught 20 passes over 5 or 6 seasons in the NFL. Like he's not a wide receiver that you're going to use at that position, especially with the additions we've now made to that room. And then we brought back Corey Bajorquez. We brought back Austin Schmidt. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh,
kicker.
Andy. Andre. Sorry, Andre.
I'm like, I know it's an A. I'm like you with Carmen Justice.
Yeah. Carmen Justice, my favorite.
Oh, Cameron, we love you. No, yeah. So Andre Schmidt. So we brought back, and then Rex Sunahara, the long snapper. We brought back our entire special team specialist guys. And then like at safety, like you said, Daniel Thomas, Trey Avery, all names that, real honestly, guys, if you don't remember them, it's not going to be a big deal. Because
they're all possible bubble and upgrades, and we'll see what happens, what the Browns do with maybe some of these players in the next 60 days.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like a bad, I'm not knocking these guys. It's just the way it is every year. You got to fill out your roster. You have 90 spots, correct, for the training camp and preseason. Yeah, you got to cut it down to 53. So a lot of these guys, that's a lot of guys that don't make the cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you got to have them for training camp and practice and preseason games and everything else. So we'll see. We'll see who ends up sticking around here.
Yeah. It'll be, I don't think there's going to be much surprises in the depth. I'm just taking a look at it right now. The first 2 lines seem pretty good to me. I would say I don't know if Luke Floria or Gage Larvadan make the team, but they're guys that could push some guys out, possibly, said Till, maybe a change of scenery for him just hasn't quite worked out here. Maybe even Mike Hall Jr., that's something where they could maybe recoup some draft capital if we move forward, because Aiden Huntington might beat out Mike Hall Jr. at this point. So who knows? We'll see how they go.
Yeah, and they added a couple guys on the defensive line as UDFAs. Obviously, we've talked about Logan Fano, Spencer's older brother. And then the kid out of LSU, or not LSU, Tyreek Sapp, the kid out of Florida. Yeah. So he's kind of that tweener type defensive lineman where he's kind of listed as an edge player, but could definitely move in and play the inside of the defensive tackle spot as well. So there's going to be all kind of training camp battles and OTA battles and stuff going on here in the next couple weeks as well. As far as you mentioned, like wide receivers, it's crazy that Gage Larvadan was holding down a starting wide receiver spot for the most part. Not like in 2 wide receiver sets, he's starting for the Browns, but he played a lot for us. Yep. He was part of our starting rotation at wide receiver last year. Might not even make the team this year because we've added, like you said, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, obviously. But then even a guy like Cole Wilson, the kid out of Baylor who was making some splash plays, big catches during the rookie mini camp. Who knows? Some of these guys might work their way into the rotation.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at we'll quick go into the roster. If you take a look at it, my big thing with the roster, if I look at it right now, obviously everybody wants to talk about the quarterback, but let's talk about right guard. Tevin Jenkins, Zach Zinner, Tyree Phillips. I don't know about that. The other thing is,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, and the other thing is nickel. I've been harping on nickel. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know about you. I think a lot of people. Where's my notes here? A lot of people been. I don't know what I did with it. Anyways, I'll just go by my head. A lot of people have been talking about Parsons from. Oh, there we go. So a lot of people have been talking about Parsons maybe taking that if we can sign him, right?
Parsons.
Not Parsons, sorry.
Kenny Moore?
No, Kenny Moore is a guy that I want.
Yeah.
Trevin Diggs. I'm thinking of Parsons. They both went to
you're thinking of Dallas
Packers.
players. Yeah. Trevon Diggs.
Yeah. So I mean, while Diggs, I mean, he's got that awesome burst and he has a lot of
got the
change
size.
direction, size, fluid hips. I just don't know about him for one main thing. Rutenberg likes the heart, mind, fist concept. And I think he's got the competitive spirit. I think he's got the mind. He can process the routes. I just don't know about his willingness to tackle.
This episode is sponsored by Butcher Box for Pets. Browns fans, Butcher Box for Pets has a deal you cannot pass up for your four-legged family members. Right now, you get 50% off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Just go to butcherboxforpets.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS when you check out. It can get confusing because we're the dogs, we love our fellow dogs, our dog pack members, and the Dog Pound faithful. But let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. And they're not just pets, like I said, they're part of the family. So the question is, what are you actually feeding them? At ButcherBox, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain 0 artificial flavors or preservatives. I know our house wouldn't be the same without Odie, our 100-pound golden retriever who thinks he's a 10-pound lap dog. Absolute dumbest dog in the world, but we love him like crazy. And it gives us peace of mind knowing that we're giving him quality food instead of those factory processed blocks from the store. And speaking of the store, no need to add dog food to your shopping list ever again. ButcherBox delivers their high-quality food right to your door. Just choose the delivery schedule that you need for your dog, and you can change, modify, pause, or cancel your plan at any time. So try it out today. Your dog will love you for upgrading their meal times. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs and use promo code DOGS, DAWGS, to get 50% off. That's right, half off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition fresh dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Minimum purchase of just $34. 50% discount applies to subscription orders only. One use per customer, and you can cancel at any time. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs.
Since 1989, Mount Hope Fence has set the standard in outdoor living. From decks and railings to fences and patios, we've got you covered. Our lineup features top brands like TimberTech, AlumaGuard, Preferred Railing, and Unilock, along with our own premium Duralux vinyl products. For over 30 years, we've partnered with contractors ensuring reliable job site delivery. Discover quality and excellence in all things outdoors with Mount Hope Fence.
Are you at all excited about Michael Coates?
Yes.
Okay, because that could be your nickel answer right there.
I am excited about it, but I guess my hesitation is I'd like to bring him along and teach him instead of throwing him out to the wolves.
Sure, I understand that.
So if you get a guy like Kenny Moore who's available, I think that might be a better position to stabilize the defense. And that guy, again, with the heart, mind, fist attitude, relentless competitor.
Yeah.
He's going to recognize the routes. He's played that, but he's a physical and willing tackler, even though he's a smaller dude than Diggs. You know, he's just a better processor, better tackler, better run defender in that case. True slot fit. You're not projecting someone. And obviously, you know, safer for a nickel projection overall. So if they can get something done there, I would love to see that.
Yeah. So again, just if you didn't catch the last episodes or whatever, guys, Michael Coates Jr., UDFA signing cornerback out of West Virginia. And, Kenny used to talk about wanting to bring him on a little slowly. And I don't know if you necessarily would have to. It just depends on what they feel like his experience level is. Because you got to remember, he played, I think, 5 years in college. He's going to be 25 years old when the season starts. He is a much older rookie than, bringing in like a 21, 22-year-old who it's like, yeah, maybe we do need to give him some time to further develop. Michael Coates might be a lot more further along than a guy like that. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying there's a chance, though, that it might be a little bit different story.
That's a good point. And, it's a good point. I'm just worried about the transition. That's all, and see if he can make it. But we'll see what the OTAs are deal him. We'll see what he does in preseason. Yeah. And he could possibly be there. Doesn't hurt to have Kenny Moore though, with all that experience, and put him anywhere. You know what I mean? So he's definitely, somebody that would do well on this team, and it would help with our depth overall in the cornerback room.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, just stick with Michael Coates. I'm already way more interested in seeing him on the field right now. Like if game one was tomorrow, put Michael Coates on the field. I want to see him. I don't need to see any more Miles Harden.
Oh yeah.
There are players on this roster that have been here for a few years that I'm already saying, I don't need to see anymore. I don't. Yeah.
I would say that too. And I mean, I don't dislike the kid or anything, but
no, yeah. None of this is personal. It's just as a Browns fan, just watching the game, it's like, hey, I'm good. I don't need to see that anymore.
There's another touchdown. Yay.
Yeah. Yay. Yep. I mean, hey, if you guys want, kumbaya takes and everything, that everybody's all flowers and roses on this roster, go listen to the radio or something. Cause that's where you're going to get the fence sitters.
Yeah, absolutely. For right guard, though, what do you think about bringing Kevin Zeitler back just as a depth piece?
I don't know. How old is he now?
He's probably 35, I would say.
For me, I don't.
36.
I don't see the Browns bringing in a 36-year-old veteran right now. They want this youth movement. They are all about building up the youth and developing, for the future, not just for the future, but for now too. But obviously to help us out more in the future. I do think there's a chance if Parker Brailsford can show he can hold down the center spot. I'm not going to rule out the idea of him potentially starting even week one. Maybe it takes a few weeks, maybe the first quarter of the season. But Elkton Jenkins is a guy that you could move to either guard spot. You got Zion Johnson for the other guard. Your tackle's already set.
Yes.
So I'm not as concerned about the right guard, just because I do think I also wouldn't rule out a guy like Austin Barber coming into camp and showing that, maybe I don't have the length to play right tackle, but I do fit on this offensive line sooner than later, and maybe they try him at right guard, because I do think he would be a massive mauling right guard on an offensive line. I think he could play there. I think his college coach even said that too. If I saw an article where
you are absolutely right. I think that would be a fantastic move. And I guess I was kind of alluding to that earlier when I compared him to Wyatt Teller. Mm-hmm. I think he could be a nasty mauler in there as well. And that's something that I would love to see the Browns do. With Tevin Jenkins, he's another guy that I was like, I don't know if I need to see any more of him. Is what he is going to be, but maybe with Warhop, he takes another step. We'll see. These guys will get another chance with a new regime. And, even Miles Harden, maybe he does something with Rutenberg. Maybe Rutenberg can point something out. I don't know. But I think, like you said, we've seen enough. But, you never know with the new coaching staff.
Yeah. And, I hear you on the Miles Harden with Rutenberg, because when you bring in a coach who – his specialty is the secondary, well, then you've got to at least anticipate the secondary players could potentially see a bump in their play, because this guy, that is what he specializes in. Now, obviously, they've got their own position coaches and things like that, who we really do like, who the Browns have on their staff at those spots and everything. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, especially with the offensive line stuff, how that shakes out. It's going to be very interesting. Who was it? I was reading an article, and I think the Browns coaching staff was talking to the Florida coach for, Austin Barber. Again, there you go, talking to the college coaches about the players that you just got. I mean, it makes sense.
Yep.
They would know them best, but whatever. We'll see how it all shakes out. Kenny, anything else about this 120-day reset before we get to Stacy's voicemail?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that as far as like the way the practices have laid out and the way that the coaches handle the pressers, I think that was the very first thing that we actually skipped is we got a coaching staff and it settled out. And even
right.
if you see Mike Rutenberg and the way that he's got that energy in practice, I can see why they hired him, because I didn't really know. And, time will tell, but these guys seem, I think what I'm trying to get at is the general manager seems like the general manager now, and the coach is coaching up the raw clay and molding it. And that seems like where it's going. I know it's early to tell that, but just maybe with the change in coaching staff, there's more of a positive attitude and guys are just a little crisper. Maybe that's it as well. But I kind of like how the dynamics of the Browns are working. And I think that was essential to kick this 120-day reset off.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I like the new dynamic in the hierarchy way better than it was before, because when you've got too many cooks in the kitchen, when you've got this equal thought partner BS going on between Andrew Berry and then Kevin Stefanski and, Paul Depot sucks.
Yeah.
You see what happens. You get Dylan Gabriel in the third round.
Yeah.
I don't think Andrew Berry would have made that pick if it were up to him and his department. But you got the head coach who's like, hey, I got equal say here. This is my guy. This is who I want. Well, that's how you end up with that situation. And it's different because from reading Jory Epstein's article from night one in the Browns war room and everything, Todd Monken's input when the Browns were picking their players, they would turn it over to Monken and say, hey, how do you feel about making Spencer Fano the pick? And he's just like, hey, if you guys like him, let's do it. Like, everything you said sounds great. Monken he's here to coach the players. Yeah. And I think that he's going to give you some input whenever he has it about a certain player, certain position, and what maybe he wants. But at the end of the day, he's here to coach the guys. He's not here to scout. He's not here to do all that crap. He needs to coach the players. And it is Andrew Berry and his department's job to get the best players in here for him to coach. And I think it's working better. You see that with the way they've drafted, the free agents they've brought in. I'm very pleased with the way things have gone. Now, will it work out on the field? We'll see. Yeah, we think it will, but
who knows? I mean, everybody's still you're a 5-12 team until you're not. Like,
exactly. Yeah, right. But so, at least the process, and we've said this the last couple of shows now. Josh called in the other night on a voicemail and said, hey, you guys are talking about feels good to feel good. Let's just live that life for a little bit. It feels good to feel good. The Cavs won Game 7, 2 series in a row. We knocked 2 drafts out of the park. We got some great young players, new coaches. Let's just feel good.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Because if there's going to be pain, it's going to start in September. Yeah. We don't need to have pain now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So last part of the show here, we're going to kick it off with our voicemail here from our girl in the Discord, Stacy.
Hey guys, it's Stacy. I just wanted to make a little comment on all the Tylen Green news and how he's looking so good in mini camp and this, that, and the other. And I just wanted to say that I'm on the same page as Mr. Jersey Justin with let's just slow our roll here. Like, let's think about Tylen Green as a whole and think about the stats and the numbers that he put up in college, and also think about the mini camp situation. The guy was the only quarterback really available to throw to anybody. So, of course, we're going to see videos of him, and it's going to look like he's the best quarterback in the whole wide world. And then you get Mary Kay over here, she's got to talk her stuff. Tylen Green is really throwing the ball great. Like, just pipe down, lady. Seriously. That lady drives me nuts, but we all know that. So I just want to say, we have to be realistic about it. And, I saw a tweet the other day, and it was the guy said, they're crazy if they don't give Tylen Green first round reps or first team reps. I'm like, are you insane and out of your mind? Like, the guy has, as it looks as of right now, 3 quarterbacks in front of him. Why is he getting first team reps? Shedeur didn't even get first team reps last year when he should have been QB2 from the rip. Like, let's all just calm ourselves down and be realistic, please.
Stacy, you're awesome. Love it. That is an excellent voicemail. Great take. Kenny, talk to me about Tylen Green and some of the stuff Stacy was saying there.
Yeah, you know what the biggest thing is like when she was saying like people were saying he looked really good, like I don't agree with that. Like he looks athletic. He is every bit of that 99.9 RAS score that he had. He looks, that part is amazing. But if you look up how to throw a football, the first thing that you should find is the compact motion. He does not have that. He does not have a tight release. He does not get the ball out fast. He doesn't reduce it. Like he does not reduce strip opportunities. He holds it out here. You have to hold it in like this, square your shoulders, cock it and go. That's it. That just doing that is the minimal amount of time to do it. Guys like Dan Marino did it really well. He doesn't have a quick trigger at all. And his proper sequencing is not there. Just go watch John Gruden's podcast where he breaks down Tylen Green with Tylen Green. It drove him nuts. He was calling him Calvin Johnson because he goes, if you can't get this right, you're going to go and play receiver. I'm going to make you because I know it bugs you. You know what I mean? And I don't want to get into the receiver talk either. I wish I didn't bring that up now, but
I'll leave it alone.
But the biggest thing is your power comes from your feet, then your hips, then your torso, then your shoulder, and it's got to be one compact motion. Okay, what he does, he strong arms, man. He has a cannon arm, and when you strong arm it, and he's got the flick of the wrist, he can let that thing fly. And I'm not saying like he's got a really, really good long ball. My worry is him hitting the flats, him hitting slants in the middle. He's not there yet. Is he a big piece of clay and is he an awesome athlete? Absolutely. I said it before. He's won every combine since Calvin Johnson, every combine. And but that's where you got to let it go, man, because he's just not there as far as like consistent sets I guess John Gruden said it best. He's not consistent.
No, he's not. And I do think, like Stacey said, everybody's just got to slow the roll with Tylen Green. He's a project quarterback. He's not and Todd Monken even said during the rookie minicamp, like, I forget the exact quote, but he essentially said, Tylen Green needs to take advantage of his reps now because once OTAs and training camp start, he won't be getting those reps. Todd Monken knows this is not a guy we're focusing on this year. He's a 6th-round pick with insane athletic abilities. Like you said, Kenny, bad throwing motion for the NFL. It didn't work that well in college. Like Stacey said, go look at his college stats. And I talked about this before on the show. You got a 6th-round quarterback who had bad accuracy and high turnover rate in college football.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate.
There is a bit of I think they kind of alluded to it on the podcast with Gruden, is that he has such an athletic gift that I think he thinks he can overcompensate and he needs to just like check down. He wants to go for the gusto all the time. Checking down and being a backup quarterback is your best friend in this league. And again, like I totally get why you guys are enamored with him, the guys that are and want to give him first string reps, because the size, the movement ability, the arm elasticity, the explosive athletic nature that he has is tantalizing. But you will put him, you will put him out to the wolves if you put him there in the game one, because his windup is that long windup is a signal for cornerbacks to feast, and he's really got to tighten that up.
Well, cornerbacks to feast and defensive linemen to come in here and smack it out of your hand.
Yeah. And he doesn't, and when he gets rattled, he does not have a good follow through balance. And that will lead to ducks and that will lead to interceptions.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if, preseason games come around and here comes Tylen Green in the 3rd, 4th quarter of these games, and
he's going to look awesome. Yeah.
Fireworks,
100%.
highlight reel stuff. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
People are going to say he needs to be looked at. We need to start him. Do you guys remember Joe Milton?
Yeah.
Joe Milton came in here. What was he? A 5th round pick for the Patriots. Looked awesome in the preseason.
Yep.
And then it was like, just they're not going to use him in a game because he's not ready. He's a project quarterback. They end up, hey, somebody actually wants to take us, like the Cowboys are saying, hey, we'll take him as a backup. Patriots like, sure, yeah, we'll get some draft capital. This could be the route for Tylen Green too. I know I've talked a lot about Terrell Pryor and the wide receiver route. If he wants to stay as quarterback, it could look like a Joe Milton thing. I don't know, but yeah, that's Tylen Green.
Guys, we all got suckered into this with DTR. He was a very good preseason athlete.
Yeah.
He was when he went on and the third and fourth string people went on, he was quarterback. He was the best athlete on the field.
He was balling out, man.
And he was balling, but it was all off script plays. And when you had to have scripted plays, he just couldn't make it to the next level, and that's my fear with putting Tylen Green in right now. He has stuff for a Monken style offense, which is, movement in the passing game, boot action, quarterback RPO packages, and that'll all look good in the preseason. But when the NFL regular season starts, he's just not going to be ready.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you want to talk about a difference between drafting quarterbacks between having Todd Monken here and Kevin Stefanski, whether either coach had significant input on all these guys or not. DTR and Dillon Gabriel were small quarterbacks.
Yeah, they were.
DTR was, he was what, 6'2"-ish? So, not like short, but a rail. Super thin, super small. Slight. Yeah, very slight. And then Dillon Gabriel, obviously just a very small quarterback. And now you get Tylen Green, who's a monster, 6'6", 240 freaking pounds, like just a big dude. Either way, there's always an infatuation with the rookie, the backup quarterback, that type of thing, especially for, Browns Nation. It's the world, it's the life we live. But
hey, man, Mary Kay, we can complain about her, but she's not dumb. She always goes to the next quarterback because that's where all the likes come from. That's where all the hits come from, man.
She knows how to get her clicks, and it's a business model, and you have to know how to work the business to be successful in that business. But
absolutely,
I don't like it. But all right. Anything else you want to dive into here before we wrap it up? That was a whole lot of good information today.
Yeah, man, I think I'm good. I think we hit everything, and I'm looking forward to these OTAs and these guys just getting the playbook and the terminology and everything down and getting comfortable.
Me too, man. Me too. So that's starting tomorrow, Tuesday, the first session of OTAs, and then, of course, there'll be 2 more, and then the mandatory minicamp. We'll be here detailing it all, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Follow us on all the social medias at The Dogs Podcast. That's where you can get the most up-to-date stuff in between podcast releases and everything else. Come hang out with me, Blake, Justin, and Mr. Kenny Mack in the Discord, the Dog Pack, jointhedogs.com. Get in there, get in the conversations, get a head start on the fantasy football leagues. You can join the Dog Pack Discord live episodes, which Kenny will have to do one of those here coming up soon.
Yeah,
get everybody involved again. And it's an awesome place to be. If you want an online Browns fan community that you can jump in, talk Cleveland sports, Browns football from anywhere in the world, jointhedogs.com.
And sports and beers and barbecue and all that good stuff, man.
Life advice. It's just it's a great place. Just good people in there. Very good people in there. So you guys rock in the Dog Pack. We appreciate you guys. So that's it for today. Let us know in the comments anything that you guys are thinking, questions you have, anything you disagree about, anything you want us to talk about on the next show. Let us know. We'll look at it. We'll bring it on. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Let's go Brownies.
Let's go Browns. Hoo, 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 hoo.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.